Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well, it's good afternoon for me. Okay, you just gonna have to pretend you where I'm at. Good afternoon. Man, I just realized one of my links didn't work, and it's probably not been working this whole time, and I had no idea. Okay. No, not that one. Okay. Hmm. That one's not working either. Neither one of those works. Annoying. Okay, hold on. Because we got to figure this out. Thank you for stopping by today. It is Tuesday, which means it is Pleasure Tools Tuesday, which means, where are you? Where are you? Which means we are going to be talking about external tools that you can use to spice up the bedroom. And today's topic is we're going to be talking about building an intimacy playlist or a sex playlist. Now, I know you think this is just something that happens, but it doesn't. You can completely ruin a mood if you do not do this correctly. So, we're going to talk about what to do, what I did, and see what we got going on. Because I was doing some stuff. I was doing some stuff in the background. So, that's what we're going to be chatting about today. Let me make sure I got all of my stuff up. Do, 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 do. They also, where are my links? That's what I need. They also, I'm so mad about that I did not know that was not working. Okay, let me see if it works here. Open link. Put them here. Okay, now let me make sure this one opens too. Open. Yes, it does. All right. Okay. I've been. I'm glad I figured that out now. I mean, I guess at some point I would have, but it's still pretty early, so I'm proud of me for that. All right, so we are talking about building that intimacy playlist, what that looks like, what do we need, what do we do, how do we get this going. So, firstly, let's go over what is the importance of music during that time frame. So, we talked a bit in other shows about sensory play and about how you can use your senses or the lack of your senses to be able to increase the anticipation and heighten the sensitivity of your remaining senses and how that can be an erotic experience. And so music was a part of that conversation because auditory processing and auditory sensory development is a thing. And so you can, hey, Cleve, you left the last time before I figured it out. I was muted that whole time. Well, not like I have a degree in this or anything. Not like I have a whole full degree in this. No. So I was completely muted, but you can definitely blame something else for, for that. Okay. So anyway, um, Welcome everybody who's coming in. We are talking about building intimacy playlists today and how to build a good playlist and what you need and the things that you don't need and some suggestions because I, being the great coach that I am, I asked on TikTok, but being also Katasha, I only asked yesterday, like last night, because that's when I thought about it. But I took a poll to get other types of music. So let's talk about how music can play a part in the process, in a part of the intimacy process. Okay, and we're going to start that by looking at our sexual arousal process. So for our sexual arousal process, this is what your body goes through for thank you. This is the process that your body goes through from, this is the process of sex to your body. So, this is the process, the different chemical reactions and different things that your body goes to prepare to engage in sex and to engage in sex and to complete the task of sex. Because sex is not just something that happens to your genitals, it's something that happens to your entire body. So, with that being said, you have desire, arousal, plateau, orgasm, and resolution or reduction. And you will see this map. If you look up sexual arousal process, you will see this map featured in different ways. And sometimes they have an extra one, it'll say resolution, or they'll have the plateau won't be there. But essentially, each one of these processes, your first process is going to be the desire, okay? And that is going to be the moment that you decide that you are ready for intimate activity. So when you make that decision, that is when your arousal process kicks in. So the desire has to be there first, and then the arousal comes in. And this is all the things that you do to get the body ready for orgasm, okay, for ejaculation, or whatever your body does. To get to that process, there are a lot of things in this arousal process, and using your sensory processing in this arousal process is where that energy meets the activity. I'm trying not to get us canceled, okay? Where energy meets activity. So using music as a part of your arousal process, and actually music can be used, of course, throughout the whole process, but as a part of the arousal process, using your sensory, the knowledge of sensory processing for sexual activity. So if we are aware that that is a part of the process, then we can assert that music can go in there. But it is important that we are using the right type of music and and taking in a bunch of other information that you're not necessarily thinking of to make sure that you're making a really good playlist. So in this process, you would use the music, you would get to the plateau, which is the portion of the process that is before the orgasm, when you can't go anymore, okay? So when the body has done all the things that it needs to do and it has reached the plateau of that process, then it's time to switch to the next process, which is going to be the orgasm. That is going to be the next step, and then it's, of course, the resolution. It is getting your body back to its normal state. So you want your music to mimic this process. You want the music that you're using for your intimate activity to ride this wave, okay? So I know it's not just picking songs. It is you culminating an experience through sound and music, okay? And I know you're probably thinking like, listen to me, I'm the expert, okay? You can mess this up. You can mess this up. So what the trap bedroom boom mix could hinder arousal. You being funny, but absolutely. I have heard on more than one occasion that people are, when their partners are setting the mood, they're in there playing Looney Coleon. And like, yes, that's the music that we are hyped to during this time, but that is not the correct music. The correct type of music to ride that process, right? And again, especially if it's music that you both have enjoyed, like, oh, I know they like this song. But songs have different purposes. Some songs are, make the perfect car playlist songs. Some songs make the perfect party playlist songs. You can't throw some of these songs into the party playlist song. And so you have to also be conscious of your sex playlist songs. And so Bedroom Boom, yes, because that is an inherently sexual song. But some songs are not. Like if you in there playing We Some Head Busters because that was y'all's jam in college, I get that. But that's not riding the wave, okay? Unless, hey, you know what? Let me take that back. Because that might be the wave that you on. But if that is the wave that you are on, make sure that's the experience that you're culminating and not, just throwing random music in there that you like. It has to be, some rules around around what we're doing, okay? So, what are some things that you need to take into consideration when you're building this playlist? Okay, firstly, you need to take into consideration the ethnicity of your partner. And I know that this is not something that people normally talk about, but I'm not here to give you what people normally talk about. I'm here to give you the um, the basics on how to make the best experience. Okay, and so if you are, and let's while we're talking about that, here, let me pull up the definition of ethnicity so we don't, that there's no misconception about why I'm using that word. Okay, let me share my screen right quick so we can do it together. No. Okay, I mean, yes, but you know what I mean. Okay, so ethnicity refers to a group of people who identify with each other based on shared attributes, often including cultural traditions, language, history, ancestry, and geographic origin. Okay, so if you are moving in a community that you are not aware of, again, you just need to be conscious of the type of music that you're playing and be culturally aware of the partner that you are engaging with. So if you are, engaging with someone who culture you also share, then that's going to be easy for you to pick a playlist and pick songs for that partner. But if you are engaging in an intimate experience with someone who is not of the same culture as you, you are going to have to do some more research, okay? Because some of the songs that may be culturally appropriate for someone that is of the same ethnicity as you may not be the same. It may not be the same in other communities, okay? So if you bring somebody up, like I don't know who's I'm not even gonna lie, I do not know nothing about. I do not be in them people business. So I don't know who would be problematic, but a problematic, um, we'll use R. Kelly, and we'll use R. Kelly for a specific reasoning. And again, this is another part of the conversation, but we can put it in right here. There are people who love R. Kelly's music, and there are people who love R. Kelly, and it can be whatever it is. But the nature of the reason why people are not in tune with R. Kelly, you have to be aware of that as well. And I will also throw in Chris Brown. There are people who have certain feelings about certain artists um, based on the reason why they are on a list, right? And so, and I'm not telling you who to listen to and who not to listen to because that's not my business. That is y'all's business. But I'm going to say that if you were to play R. Kelly in an intimate setting with someone who experienced SA, you may be setting yourself up for a very different experience, okay? And you may not even know that. You may not even know that's something. If you were to play someone who has done something abusive, or you're playing someone who people consider problematic, you have to consider that the person that you're engaging in this activity with could possibly be a victim of something of a similar nature, okay? So be mindful of that. You take that risk because, again, some people are separating the art from the artist, which is something that is done outside of the music industry as well. That is something people have brought into that, but there are others who cannot do that, and nobody's wrong here. No one's wrong. Everyone's allowed to feel the way they want to feel about it. But if you are creating an experience with someone, you need to be mindful of those types of triggers. Those songs and those using those artists could bring about a very different experience than the one that you're trying to curate. So that's important. And that doesn't really fall under the ethnicity part, but it's a good time to bring it in. And again, there are also, I'm sure there are many other artists that are problematic in other genres of music as well. I just don't know them because again, that ain't my business. So I don't know who they are. But I'm sure, there's going to be some research that you're going to have to do to be able to create a playlist that represents the experience that you're going for. Okay? So that's what we need. We're going to need a little bit of research. You're going to have to, it's going to be some work. Okay. And then when you pick those songs, it's also not just slow songs, right? It's also not just, whatever, because some of those songs are not meant for sexual experiences. If you get in the mood and then somebody plays, Mama, Dear Mama by Tupac, or, that's going to send people, that's not going to create the experience that you want. Okay. So you also need to be super, super mindful of the lyrics. When I do my events, I create playlists for all of my events, and all of those songs are listened to ahead of time. I go through all of the lyrics just to make sure that there's not, something in there. Cause like sometimes those older songs have stuff in it. Like, some of those songs we have about being underage and Sweet 16 and all that stuff, like some of those songs have very problematic lyrics in them. So you have to, when you're creating that playlist, it's not just, a slow song, a bop. You got to listen to the song, listen to what they're talking about. Because if they're talking about missing a mama, if they're talking about, um, being in an abusive relationship, I think of Ashanti's Rain on Me. That is not like, that song does not evoke sexual feelings in a lot of people. So you just have to be, it has to be curated. You have to pick good songs with good lyrics that are on the spectrum of your sexual process, right? And there's nowhere in there that we can, I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all, that we can throw that into the mix of an intimate experience. Again, because that song was not made for that moment. It was made for another moment. And you have to be mindful of the moments for the songs that you're using. And it made me think about all the people who were that were getting married to, was it Maxwell, Pretty Wings? And everybody's like, that is not, but people just hear a slow song. They like the way it sounds and they don't consider what the words to the songs are. So you just have to be, it's so much more. If you want to have a positive and a curiously laced sexual experience, it takes work. It takes you being yeah, you can't be hold on. We can't. So it really is. And I like to be funny, so sometimes I do. I will throw gangster lean in there. I don't know, it's just good to me. I will. This is for the bourbons. I will do it. I'm not gonna lie. But again, I'm me. My experience is gonna be a lot different than other people's. Now, another thing that you need to be mindful of, okay, is that some people have very spicy brains. Very spicy brains. And so if you pick music with songs and stuff that people know, they might break out in song. Okay. I'm not going to say that has never happened, that people have not come in and say, she won't stop singing or he be rapping the lyrics. Listen, if you're trying to curate the experience, okay, if you're trying to curate the experience, without the lyrics, without the lyrics, you can choose instrumentals. You can pick some jazz. They have all different type of jazz. They have other just type of neo soul beats, other types of music that you can use that don't have the words, so they it doesn't distract you. Because some people can get distracted. I can listen. I, did, I may or may not be one of them people. Get out my business, okay? Get out my business. But it is. You have to be mindful of that. If the jam come on, what am I supposed to do? Okay. You can't just be playing my jam and I'm not supposed to do nothing. I need to sing the alto. So, but just keep that in mind. If spicy brain just means neurodivergent, someone who just does very spicy things. Not necessarily ADHD, but just has the way your brain processes things is just a little bit spicier than the way a regular person would process things. So we just call it neurospicy or spicy brain. Because again, I've definitely been spicy brained all my life. I don't think I've ever been a regular person. I've gave it the best I had. I did. I really tried. Not beware of the groove. So seriously, like that could happen. You and your partner could end up in, meet to meet in a duet session, singing Fire and Desire because, Tina Marie was eating them up and you just got to get that little note in. So that's another thing that you definitely have to keep in mind. So, in my quest to help build the best playlist, a good playlist, um, you can. I made a TikTok and I asked people, specifically. Okay, so again, I know that we listen to music. I know that it's a regular thing. First of all, a lot of people say this was a really good question, so I love that, and it'll probably come back because I did post it on TikTok so late, and I know that it might gain some more traction later. So we might bring it up toward the end of the month again once we get some more suggestions in. But it is. I asked on TikTok, like, what music do other people listen to? Like, specifically white people, because I honestly don't. I've always had that question, like, I mean, years and years, I've talked about this over and over. Like, are y'all having sex to music? And what kind of music is it? Because I don't know. And so I asked on TikTok, and then I also asked for other ethnicities because there are lots of other people. There are Indians, there are Native Americans, there are lots of other people, Scottish, Finnish. What are y'all having sex to? What's the playlist? If y'all are having sex to music, what is the playlist? And so again, I did ask super late, and so you know how it is. But I did get some really good answers. So let's look at some of the stuff that we did get. Okay. That big. Hey, not being funny though, back in the gap, that was my jam. Do you hear me? That was my jam. It was. And Red Hot Chili Peppers, I don't ever wanna feel. That was my jam. That was my jam. Is that a good is that a good sex song? Let me think. Let me go back and think of the word. Let me. Oh no. What I got to give it to your mama. Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know, but I kind of feel like that might be. Let me ask. I'm gonna ask some white people. Okay, so first of all, let me go find the name because I don't know the name. That is an experience that we share that I do think is a universal experience is that we will make a name. I know it was Red Hot Chili Peppers, but we will change the name of that song. Listen. We will change the name of that song. Okay, so it was Do you know the name? Listen, you got a little bit more experience. Can you tell? Do you know the name of that song? Uh, cause I'm really finna put in here. Okay, hold on. I remember the video. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me see. None of these don't look like the song. Oh man, I don't know. Was it Californication? Was that the name of the song? Okay, I'm finna play it. Let me see. Oh, I definitely don't have man, never know what the name of that song is. I like I just know the words. Is this it? No, but I do remember this song. Is this a Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't It's not this one though. Same friend. Same. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm looking at the pictures like maybe I can look at the picture and see which one of these is the song cuz like I don't but can't I say take me away? That should get me give it away. Is that the song? Hold on. This is this one? It's give it away. It's give it away. Look what we did. Yeah. This used to be my jam. Hold on, let me see if that is. Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of sad. Jack the pineapple. uh, you gonna have three legs in a minute. Oh man. Okay, so Red Hot Chili Peppers. Jack the Pineapple is Red Hot Chili Peppers a good sex playlist song? I'm counting on you. You probably already gone. You just came in to be a butthole and then you gone. Okay, so let's look and see. Let's look and see what the people said. Okay. Okay. Oh, and I gotta go back because I got. Okay, so this. Okay, so Jack the Pineapple said, "Sure, why not?" Did you listen to the song though, or are you just saying it? Like, okay, so give me Jack, give me some of your best sex. We're building sex playlists today or intimacy playlists, so we don't get. We're building playlists today, so give us some of your best suggestions for your sex playlist. But you got to give me your ethnicity too, so people who know they can pick the same kind of, you know what I mean. Okay, so this one says, this is a comment on one of the posts. It says, my coworker that is white says she just like background noise. It can be the radio, movie, podcast, etc. Okay, I didn't think about. One of my friends said I was gonna tag my white homies, but they black. We got that part. We know that. Okay, and so then someone sent me a message. Uh, Chris Brown's "Poppin'" is my shit. That's a good song. Gets me going every time. Realize that's probably not an average white person answer, but it absolutely should be on the playlist. I agree. I like that song. Okay. Randy Travis. Who? Oh, okay. That's not my business. That's out of my. Okay. Um, let me find my other. Y'all know I'm old. Let me find my other inboxes because I did get like I made some reels. I got some good answers on that. It said this just opened a whole can of worms. But I like music in the background, but what music depends on the partner and what music is to our relationship? Oh, that's a good question. And that's why it is important to, if I'm still getting to know them and I'm in charge of music, I'll put on some Coltrane or Mingus. So let me put that in the I'm gonna put that in the chat. Some smooth jazz. But if we have developed a relationship, the playlist can look so many different ways. I hope that helps. I agree. I agree. I agree. And it can also depend on the mood. So like even the playlist, like sometimes the playlist will change. Um, I probably should have put. Okay, so depending on the night, a ghost song or two would be pretty interesting for the activity. Okay, so I'm finna Google, Jack. I'm gonna Google on YouTube. Look at me. I sound so old. And I'm sure Ghost is the band, but I'm sure that's a ghost. Oh, that look kind of scary. Jack. Okay, but you know what? I'm not gonna judge this teeth skull picture. I'm gonna click play. I'm gonna click play. Um okay, thank you. Give me some more info. He said Peacefield. Who is that still talking? Oh, be quiet. Okay, Ghost Peacefield. Oh, that was the picture. Mary on the Cross is their most famous piece. Okay, let me see if I can find that. Am I gonna get in trouble for playing this? Probably. Let me turn it off. They gonna kick me out. They already gonna kick me out because I played something else. Oh man. Anyway, okay. They'll mute the thing. Whatever. Do whatever you want to do. Okay, but I'm now you know what I'm gonna go listen to. I'm gonna find the Mary on the Cross, Jack. Hold on. Um, Peacefield. Why did it say marry my sister? Hold on now. Why was that a suggestion? Okay. Okay. Oh, this okay, Jack. This is definitely giving me um like 80s flash dance vibes. I like that. Is this are these people new? I wouldn't put it on my sex playlist, but I like the vibe for sure. They did a concert. That's what I'm talking about. Like I would be hella hype at that. I mean it was a lot of like head throwing and stuff. Like I would have been in there with my socks on. Like it was giving me like I got a little chicken skin. I love like so that's a like feel like a party to me. But I could see how it would be a very like sensual like experience in the right hands. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay. I like that. Okay. A lot of people dress up as the main singer to show their love for the band too. Okay. Okay. did you Jake, did you send me if you did, send me a picture. I want to see if you dressed up like I absolutely want to see. Yeah, and you know what else is giving me and this is has nothing to do with nothing, but it's also giving me in Queen of the Damned, the band that was in Queen of the Damned, um, it's giving me those kind of like I loved the band in Queen of the Damned. I went straight to work and went to my white coworker and I was like, and he was like, those are real people. That's a real band. I was like, those are some really good actors. And like, oh, I really he was like, those are. I never went and looked up the real people, but all them songs on Queen of the Dam was a bop. Like every single hit, all them little rocks are why won't you not? Yes, a jam. Those were my jams. Why did you? Yes. But I think it's interesting to see. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Let's see if we got some other suggestions. Okay, somebody sent me a link. Down on Me, Sudan Archives. Okay, let's put that down. Ooh, what am I spelling? Oh, I got my nails on. Sudan Archives. Ooh. Okay. Okay, okay. Let's YouTube it. See what we have. Okay, okay. I like this little naked lady. Is this a black lady? Oh, that's not oh, well I guess this is I mean, I guess it was sent to me by someone who's black, so but the front picture is I want to show you, but I don't know if they'll like, you know how they like, oh, you can't use that. And I'm like, I'm not even doing nothing with it. Okay, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit so we can see what we got. Okay, now. Oh, that's a violin. Is this a black lady with a violin? Okay, let's go ahead and like that. Oh, I want to go back and like Mary on the Cross too. Okay, that's a good one for sure. Okay. And so a lot of some of our artists in, the community that I currently reside, have had some troubles lately or have always had troubles or whatever. And so it makes it really difficult to find early R&B music that you can still listen to without having to run into issues like that with, like, people making lyrics about young people and people making misogynistic lyrics and just things like that. And so there are some R&B artists that you still could have access to that do still create that music. So first of all, you can always put some Sade on. Sade will get the mood right. Okay, if you Sade make you feel like you having sex in a waterbed when you on a cot. So you can always put some Sade in there. But there are other artists that are more like R&B, like what we're looking for. And one of those artists or groups that I think is super super underrated and is not talked about enough is H Town. H Town was making um they were making feminist music way before it was cool. Way before it was cool. And so there are a lot of songs on there. Again, you will need to listen to them songs because some of them songs sound cute, like Julie Rain, and that song is not meant to be cute. Okay? Like, so make sure you listen to the lyrics just to make sure it's not a sad song, but it has a lot of empowering music for women. There's a lot of slow ballads, a lot of songs about waiting. We only gonna do what you want to do. I'll take what you give me. You run the show. Women can be president. Like, there's all these very positive, but also it's enveloped in very sensual music, that can stand the test. Okay, that you can put it up against it. Another group is Silk. Silk is never gonna let you down. You can go from the bottom to the top. I don't think they have any songs that like um that have some of that cringy stuff in there, but I don't know all the songs. But I do know that from what I know, the Silk songs that I do know, and of course I have very very many songs on my playlist. You can do that, and sticking with bands is a good thing to look for, because sometimes the expectations for you as a band member are larger than the expectations for you as an individual singer. So band members have a very rigorous schedule. They usually have images they have to uphold, and so things like that. Now that doesn't always count, because you will find like some old Boys Men songs that would embarrass you, or a BBD and all that. Like, you will find it is out there. So it is like some of those songs, and even with consent and things like that, it's very difficult to not be triggering when you listen to some of the older music. So H Town is going to be my number one. Actually, I plan on doing like a piece about them. I haven't gotten around to it, but like it's when it comes to like music that has embodied what a lot of women are feeling right now, and a lot of like what's been going on. H Town has been like in 1990s. They were talking about that. They were talking about, stop beating on these women. Stop. You talked about his friend who died at the hands of domestic violence, like, and talked about how much people deserve more and like what women could be and all of those types of things. And so H Town is actually like my number one. But then you can still work down the hill. You got Drew Hill, you have Silk, you have After Seven, make some very like slow central music. Babyface got some good stuff, that will stand the test of time. That now again, I don't know if some of these people might be problematic in the future, so I'm not vouching for them either way. But oh, and also let me say, just as a blurb, I know R. Kelly's music can cause some feelings in some folk, but I just want to remind you that all the proceeds to listening to R. Kelly right now goes to the victims. So, like, even if you are listening to R. Kelly's music, you're still doing a service. You're still doing the Lord's good work. So, um, again, does not stop or do anything about the triggering of how people feel about certain artists being played. But if you are one of the people who is like, I'm gonna listen to R. Kelly, I don't care, that's great. Every time you listen to him, um, restitution is being paid to his victims, and I'm all for that. So absolutely, listen to him as much as you want. Put him on your playlist. Go to sleep with it if you like. Um, but yeah, just you have to just be mindful of the types of, and everybody has different things that can be triggering for them. So you just have to figure that out. You have to figure it out. Other safe artists, Janet Jackson's always going to be safe. Dina Howard, just depending on what kind of mood you in. Dina Howard. You know who got some good little nasty songs that definitely hits on my playlist and have always been hits on my playlist. And you know what? Because I do not know who these people are that sing this song. It was Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. He had two songs by girls on there. And both of them songs have been A1 on my playlist for years and years and years. Okay. Um let's look and see what I don't know who those women are. But I do know they had a couple of bops on there. Cause I know that a brother got needs tonight. Girl, you better tell him. uh, but you gotta pay tonight. You better tell him, girl. Okay, but hold on. It was two of them. Um, let me see. I need. What was that? Was that album was called Kings of Crunk? That was the Kings of Crunk album. Yep, 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 yep. I know it was. Um, and I need. I remember the first time I heard "Get Low" by Lil Jon. Okay, I was in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta. Um, and we were down there for NABJ, and we were on the bus. And the radio stations in Atlanta is very different than the radio stations everywhere else. And so like we was hearing all this stuff that was like bopping, like what is going on? And this, so like we heard Get Low, and I was like, what? Or was it Get Low? It might have been Yin Yang Twins. I don't remember. I want to say it was Get Low though. But I remember just being like, this is a bop. Um, what is that? Y'all finna tell me who these girls is. You're not finna keep it from me. Um, nothing on. And nothing's. Oh, it's It's Obi. It's the people from the loving tonight. Cause I'm something, something. Give me your loving. Yeah. Give me your loving. Yeah, I remember that. I want you right here. So that's who that was. I'm so mad I didn't look them up before. Okay. Um, there's my jam. Give me your loving. Shimmer, nimmer, nim. Oh no, they had a couple of kids because they had Ooh No No, that was my jam. Okay, Borderline, Tame Impala. Ooh, okay, well let's listen to it. I can't believe that was them. Like, shut up, Ubi, y'all was eating and we ain't even know. That's my jam. Nothing's free is my jam. Play no games is not my it's my jam. Well, first of all, Kings of Crunk, baby. I was in college. You Kings of Crunk got me through the times. Okay, that's why my knees are bad right now. I know it. I know it. I know it. That's why my knees are bad right now. Cause baby, Kings of Crunk wore me out, total cartilage up, shoulders, all of that, and then, uh, E40 Ghetto report card. I remember after college. E40 Ghetto report card is when I lost all the stuff in my spine. That was because I was throwing neck everywhere. So, oh my gosh. Okay. So let's look up Borderline by Tame. Oh, Tame Impala. And why is the next one Borderline Personality Disorder? Uh oh, the song is called Borderline. Where's the official video? I don't want to. Okay. With Grammarly, every email you send can. I don't want to talk to you. I don't. I really don't be on YouTube at all. No, I went. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Okay, so if we talk about, okay, let me ask you a question, Jack. I don't know where you came in at. But I'm gonna put up the sexual arousal process, and tell me where would you play that song? Like, where would you think in for desire, arousal? I guess like you can't pick for orgasm, but you know what I mean. And resolution. I do think that song could fit, but where would you put it on in the process? And y'all can put y'all suggestions in too. Oh, you know what? Do I have access to all the chats? I don't know. It's probably somebody talking into the void thinking they talking to me. Oh, we got some more suggestions, I believe, too. One of my friends says she don't think that white people are having sex and music because it's just us because we too freaked out. She actually says she thinks this is an N-word thing. I need new friends. These friends is raggedy. Okay, let me open my TikTok. I haven't checked there yet and see if we got some other suggestions. Jack, you've been holding it down. Okay. So Jack said maybe somewhere around arousal and plateau, maybe a bit before, like a slow burn song, romance build up before a show. You feel me? Exactly. So that's where I was gonna put it too, right around that arousal, like right up there. So when you're trying to build it up, because again, when you're talking about sensory processing, you're using your breath, you're using the sound, you're using motion, you're using a bunch of different things to get that rhythm up to there. And I feel like that would be a real good slow burn song. But then you would have to like kind of map it out. But if you're with a partner that you kind of know, you can throw it in there and know the reaction that it's gonna get. So I agree. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay. Okay. So for the Mexicans, this is from a Mexican. So she told me to make sure. Okay. Uh Dread Mar. Wait, she said. Okay, so she said Dreadmar E, Reek, No Doubt, music that I listen to while I'm cleaning, ruined them for me. Okay, so they done messed up her favorite cleaning songs. She said y'all done messed up her songs. Okay, let me put what she put in here. Um, I wonder if I can pull up my I should be able to pull up my TikTok. You think I can? I don't know. Let's see. Cause I don't want to mess this up, and I just put these nails on, so I don't even know what I'm. Is it gonna let me in? Okay. Is it gonna let me to my comments? That's what I need. Okay. 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 So let me see what we got in here. Oh, this one said, all rom coms made me feel like Aerosmith. Don't want to miss a thing is something they would have on a playlist. Well, let me hear. I can. I'm gonna show y'all the video that I did, so you can see what I put out there. Oh, why is it not showing? Oh, cause girl. Okay. Sometimes I'll be like, who's even in charge around here? I don't even know when I'm in charge. But I think we got some. Don't want to miss a thing is a good. That is a good. She said the rom coms made her feel like. um, they made her feel like that's what the Oh, I don't think that's the right one. Oh, get away from me. Okay, so let me copy this so we can have, if you are building a playlist and you are, why did I put hide? That was stupid. Hold on. I've never been in here like this, so I I don't know what I'm in here doing. Okay. Okay, here are the artists for if you are building. Why would you do that? That's not what I copied. Copy. There we go. Okay, so that is some of the suggestions. We got Aerosmith. Aerosmith. I like the we got 90s R&B, R. Kelly, Keith Sweat, Silk. Throw in some 80s as well. Again, there is some. I do have some stuff on there. Did I spell Aerosmith right? I think I left off another E or something in there. Some slow jams. We got slow jams. Again, everybody thought it was a really good question. I hope it does get some more traction so we can get some more answers. I really do want to know. Um, we're gonna put them on there. So we need new. We all need new songs too, because all of my playlists is all old songs. Sometimes I don't be knowing who's problematic. Uh, so I don't be knowing who we ain't like. I don't. So I need to know though because I do events. So um, let's see. Got any other quiet? Any other? Yeah. Okay. So I feel like Jack held it down. He got us some some good stuff. I feel like we need some more. Okay, let me put my do I want to? Okay, I'm gonna do them in order. Okay, now who do I want to put? Oh, I know who I want to put. I want H Town first. Then I'm gonna do you. Then I'm gonna do you because you have a lot of sexy songs. Then I'm gonna do you. And then who else? It's gotta be some more. Who makes like really? They don't make artists like Adina Howard. Adina Howard had a niche. Like she made very sexy music. Um, like people who just make sexy music. I think Chris Brown makes a lot of sexy music. I think he's definitely fallen into that. But he also does a lot of pop too. Whereas like Usher, I feel like Usher does more like pop. He does some sexy music. But Usher definitely have some songs that go on the again. What was the album? Was it that Let It Burn and You Don't Have to Call, and oh, he put his whole butthole in that album. Listen, he put his toenails, his fingertips, the rat tails of his Jerry curl in that album. I remember he had the boys on lock. Oh, he had them on lock. Um, but I'm gonna do top five. One, two, three, four. I need one more for my top five. Who else am I gonna throw in my sex playlist top five? Let me look on my stuff. Let me look on mine and see who's like recurring, right? Who do y'all have? Who's your top five? Top five. I'm finna hold on. I'm gonna take my question. I'm gonna take mine out and I'm gonna ask the question. We're gonna poll it. I want to pose this in the form of a question. Okay, give me your top five sex playlist artists. Okay, and then I'll put mine back in there, but I still got to think of a five. I'm really confident in my. Oh, do I? Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. Ooh. Oh, no one said that yet. Mind Sex by Dead Prez. And I'm going in. Okay. And I got my last one. Okay, stall me out. That's number five because it is a little. It's a prop. It's some prop. It's a little bit of problem. Just some. I wouldn't say problematic, but I would definitely give prob. It definitely gives prob. Okay. But I'm sticking beside him. I'm sticking beside him because it's just a little. It's just the tinge of something. But if I had to go top five, if I pulled up these five artists, I would find a plethora of sexy songs. This is who I'm going with. In order: H Town, Silk, Drew Hill, Janet Jackson, and Jodeci. That's my top five. That's my top five of you being able to go to that artist music and pull some some sexy stuff out of there. Absolutely. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, let me see what y'all got. see what y'all talking about. You. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put the question on my LinkedIn. And they probably would have answered too. Yeah, okay, let's see. Oh, I got some people put some suggestions under like some posts that were shared. Um, man, okay, okay. Yeah, okay. So we got some good suggestions. Yeah, but that's old. That's an older playlist. I don't know who would be on there now. I know it would be some SZA. We could put her on there. I know she would be on there. But again, let's see, SZA. Who else? Her. Uh, what boys? I don't know. Any was Brent Fayez? Am I finna mess this up? Don't be mad if I mess that up, Brent. I'm sorry. Sorry, nephew. Who else? I don't know. Like, I don't even really listen to the radio because, I'm married a man. So we just listen to sports radio mostly. I'm married a man. Now I'm in basketball business. They ain't even supposed to be my business either. I'm over there in their business. Okay, let's see what we got on the. Okay, okay. Um, I don't know what the whose concerts are hot right now. Is anybody even doing concerts? I think um I love me some Duran Bernard. I don't know if he makes sex playlist songs, but he do got some bops. Um what about Sam Smith? I've seen him his name come up. Does he make I think he makes he is that the dude that like kind of makes R&B? I think so. But I have seen his name on some playlists. Um I don't know. I mean, it's got to be some. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you like were able to build some good stuff. Um, some good stuff in there if you can. If you can put together. I definitely need to update mine. I really only listen to the whatever comes like the TikTok. I hear songs on TikTok from being in little sounds or whatever, and then sometimes I'm in the car. We're in the car. The Sirius radio's on, or so you hear new songs on there. But I don't. I when I get in my car, when I listen to music, I just turn on all the songs I done saved all these years and just listen to all all the songs that I've liked for all the years of my life. And I'm like, how many songs do you have? How many songs are in your playlist? In your whole music playlist, your whole library. I wonder how many of mine. Does it tell me? think it does, but I don't think it's gonna tell me here. I want to say it's like 800 and something songs. Yeah, let me take that off because I don't. You know what? I don't. I do not like the algorithm that my um that Apple Music uses. It annoys me. Because they just be playing the same song. Oh, uh, so when the kids were here, they get to pick playlists for their uh sip and paint, and they picked a lot of LMA songs, and some of those songs were some good little love ballads. So she's got some stuff too. Let me put her name on there. I'm gonna be mad if I find out she anti-black. I hope she not. Um, but yeah, the girls love her. They love her. They love some little ballads that she be putting out. So you can update your playlist with some of the suggestions that we have in here. Please feel free, even if you're watching this on YouTube or catching it later, that you still drop your suggestions below, because we all could use a little help building up that playlist, get getting it together. All right, so let's talk about the schedule for the week. So today we did um, Pleasure Tools Tuesday, which was building our intimacy playlist. Tomorrow is going to be Ask Coach Katasha, where you can stop by and ask me your sexual health questions live, and I will be answering them. Now, let's talk about how that works. A lot of these platforms have built in moderators, and so some of the words and terms that you would use are not will automatically filter out of the chat. So if you come in and bring your question and you notice that I have not answered that question, you can ask me the question in a different way and just kind of leave out the context clues. I can do it. I can figure it out. I can use the context clues to figure it out, but I want you to be able to come and ask your questions. I'm opening up the platform for people to come in and ask sexual health questions, because I would rather you not know than to wonder. I do not judge. I don't care why you do what you do. I actually encourage you to do what you do, as long as you're doing safe, as long as you are being safe and everybody is consenting. I encourage it. So I'm not here to tell you like what to be doing with your body and nothing like that. That's not my business. So whatever your questions are, I'm going to answer them as a professional that wants you to know. So you can come in and you can ask me whatever you want. Now, if you don't want your question associated to your username, which I completely understand, you don't want people in your business, I get it. You can send those questions to my inbox, and I will bring that question back to the chat for you on Wednesday. So you can send those questions to expressionoverrepression@gmail.com. And I will answer them live. I will bring them back live and answer them live on the next following Wednesday. Or if not, I might catch it the next Wednesday after that. If you, excuse me, I'm not gonna say I don't know where that come from. I do. It was rainy and now the sun is out, and I'm sure the pollen is out there waiting on me. Waiting. Okay. Um, if you want to also send your questions, you can send them to any of my social media inboxes. Here is my link tree. You can access whatever social media you use. If you use uh, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, whatever you use, you can send me your questions there and I can bring them back to the chat as well. Again, you can ask me whatever questions you want. There are no stupid questions. And I also am leaving room for you not to have the language that you need. So if you're worried about not saying it in the correct way or whatever, I am leaving space open and grace for you to come in and ask it the way that you know how to ask it. And we'll go through together on what you should say, what's problematic, and so on and so forth, if you are worried about that. So, but again, not to be chastising you or anything like that, but just so you know, so you will be comfortable entering into these spaces and doing this in the future. Now, I say that to say this. There's not going to be a lot of opportunities for you to be able to ask whatever sexual health question you want. Okay. So I want you to use the time to do that. Come on in. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. If you have to send it, however you need to ask it, and I will answer it. But I don't want you to not ask it. Okay. It is better if you know, and I can give you the answer, and I can give you a good, healthy, unbiased, unjudgmental answer, and have you set on the right path to enjoy whatever activity that it is. Okay. So stop by tomorrow. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I will be here answering questions live. Okay. All right. And then on Thursday, we have Sex Tech Thursday. And on Sex Tech Thursdays, we actually go into the deep dives of the future of sexuality and sexual technology and the meld between the two. There's always been a forward motion of pushing sexual technology. It's just always been quietly done. I want to get some of this knowledge out in the open so that it can be accessible to everyone who needs it, and not just people who got money or, people who have the limited knowledge about it. I want you to know about it. I want you to be aware of it. And some of you are already engaging in some of these activities and don't know that it has a name. So that's what we're opening our Thursdays up for, to talk about the future of sexual technology. And then this Thursday, we will be talking about ecosexuality, which is the blend of nature and sex. So make sure you stop in. That's going to be at 12:30 p.m. on Thursday, Central Standard Time. And then on Friday, we are going to have Late Night with Coach Katasha, which is going to be fun because it's girls' night. It's girls' night. And, Late Night with Coach Katasha, when it's girls' night, means that, I bring my girlies in. So we're going to have girls' night, and we're going to talk about love and sex and all the stuff. Thanks for doing this. It's nice to have a place for this sort of stuff without directly looking someone in the eye and making a fool of yourself. Absolute. Jack, thank you so much. That's exactly why I made this space, because where do you go? And then if you do have to look someone in the eye, it makes it less likely that you're going to do it, which means that you never get the answer for the question that you have. And then you just go on life with this toiling question of something that's, can easily be answered. So anytime. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, come in on Friday. We're going to be just chatting about love and sex and what's going on in the news. And usually that's just y'all coming in and telling me, because I don't be knowing. If you want to come in and telling me some business that you saw on the T app, please stop by, because I do want to hear it, but I don't know because I don't be on there. So, but it's just a place for us to just kind of unwind, and we can talk about things and spend a little time together in a non-formal setting. Usually the classes from Monday through Thursday are curated. So, I have a topic, we stay on topic, we talk about it, I have pictures, I have slides, we do all that. Friday's a little more laid back. We just come in and we can just kind of chat and, see where you are. And there's a lot of people struggling right now with everything that's going on with the decrease in access to reproductive health care, the decrease in veterans care, the decrease in mental health care. There are people really struggling right now. So, I definitely want to have that space open for you to just stop in. And so that's going to be at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on Fridays. So, come back. Make sure you're following us on our platform so that you can know when we're going live. I don't be randomly just going live all the time. So I should be, but I don't. I'm only going to be going live based on this schedule. So I won't be harassing your inbox or anything like that. But you can also send me, depending on if you're on Twitch, you can send me a whisper. If you're on Facebook or on any of the other YouTube, you can send me a message. However you need to do it, just get the question to me and I will handle the rest. And again, I'm going to answer that question only a professional should. You do not have to worry about me trying to alienate you or trying to judge you or tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. And that's not my job. I have two responsibilities. One is to make sure that everybody is doing whatever you're doing safely. And two is to make sure that everybody is consenting adults. That is all that I care about, and that y'all having fun. Okay? Is everybody consenting adults, and is everybody having fun? That's all I care about. So it's I want to encourage you to use this space if you need it. Not, if you don't, that's fine. If you even if you just want to watch and you want to learn, that's fine too. I'm totally okay with that. But the space is open for you to do that because there are not very many spaces like this exist. And I have to fight for this place to exist for me to be able to do this. And so, I want if for as much work as I put on the back end, I definitely want you to be able to use the resource to your necessity, right? I'm here for you. I'm here every day at either 12:30 or 2 p.m. here and ready to answer your questions and to give you the knowledge that you need so that you can have a healthy sexual existence. That is what I want for you. So, that is our show for today. We covered a lot. We got a lot of good suggestions. Again, it'll probably, because I'm so late and I'm so me, I'm, I'm so coach. I posted this very late oh, that made it look like I was popular for a minute. um, I was very late to asking the question. I probably should have asked this weekend, but I was out of town because I was on vacation because that's what I do. So I forgot, and I was just being immersed in family and stuff. And so it'll probably come up with, because I'm going to keep the conversation going. If we can get some more suggestions, I'll be glad. Jack, thank you so much for your suggestions. You did a great job in holding down the fort on getting us some new music, and I appreciate you for that. Khalif, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you as well, for participating and, just helping me out. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Good night. Or good night to you, Jack. I'm assuming it's nighttime there. I will see you tomorrow at